Katie.
Matt.
Yes, it's great to have you join me at the light board.
Thanks for welcoming me.
Absolutely. I think this is the first time we've done one of these before.
First, never done it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We've got an opportunity here. I think this was a partner-led opportunity that was brought to you, which was a pretty interesting takeout of like 120 PRIs for a hospital system. So tell me a little bit more kind of the general nature of this, then I want to whiteboard some of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So the partner brought it to me, very large hospital on the East Coast, over 250 locations, I think over 1,000 hospital beds. They had all of the PRIs in place today, as well as an old Avaya PBX.
That's what was crazy to me, is that it wasn't crazy to me necessarily that they had Avaya. That's pretty common, and we're going to talk a little bit about our experience on how to help people with Avaya systems. But they literally had all these locations, and there was like 120 PRIs and a big, huge sonnet ring that they were paying for. So there was a massive amount of money they were paying the ILEX today for old technology they had to get rid of.
They had to get it off.
Yep.
Sooner the better.
And so we came in and talked to them about, okay, how do we replace these, all of these particular PRIs, right? Which is, CBTS. We are a phone company all across North America, right? And so we came in and talked to them about how we can come in and bring SIP trunking, in this case, to multiple locations. So there was multiple data centers that we were bringing SIP trunking down to. Yep. But before we got there, we needed to do some work with their Avaya. So didn't you bring the Avaya team in to come do, quite a bit of professional services there?
We did. So we did bring the Avaya team in, and they're still engaged today, but we had to do upgrades to their Avaya. A lot of PS work.
They even build out SBCs, if I remember correctly, right?
You're right.
They didn't have SBCs because they were all traditional, PSTN, TDM before.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Avaya team is still in there today, helping to keep the lights on.
I think I don't know how many, 20,000 numbers and a couple thousand concurrent calls, I think we're
30,000 numbers. Okay. Yeah, so many concurrent calls.
Now, part of this thing, too, I wrote Genesys up here. They're a Genesys GCCX customer.
They are.
And so one of the things they wanted to do is figure out how does this Avaya system, that our SIP trunking, how does it work with Genesys up here? Well, a lot of people don't know that we are connected network to Genesys, okay? So we came to them and said, listen, because we're already bringing this SIP trunking to you, and this is going across their WAN to all their locations, et cetera. We also then can connect and build a SIP trunk up here to Genesys. So everything is extension to extension dialing. And these Genesys folks, they're actually working from a variety of different soft phone clients. And so we even worked with them about how we could support 911 up here for these soft phone clients that were happening. So no matter where somebody worked, we could even do 911 off this Genesys third-party SIP trunk. So this, I think, was a pretty great story of how do we come in, bring our 20-year history, because we've got a 20, 25-year history of working with Avaya, working with Cisco, working with Mitel. We understand the traditional PBX and that journey then to how we might come in, help with some SIP trunking today, and we mitigated like $100,000 a month or something. It was ridiculous how much money they were spending on this sonnet ring.
You're absolutely right.
And so how we help mitigate that expense, brought control to them, redundancy, reliability, and then even built this third-party, SIP trunk over to Genesys to enable kind of the extension-to-extension dialing in 911 there. Yeah. And I think we're actually exploring.
This is phase one.
This is phase one, right? Phase two, we're hoping to explore more UCaaS opportunities.
Yeah.
Either Webex calling or Microsoft Teams, I believe, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, this is just a great example, again, I think, of some of the parts and pieces CBTS can bring, our channel management, you and the team, the expertise you bring. So.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Matt.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.